Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to TerrorBane, or Errobane, depending on how you read the title. This is a game developed by Bit9 Studios and published by Whisper Games. It is a satirical comedic RPG. With the whole plot basically being around that you are a playtester for a new RPG game called TerrorBane. And, well, the developer has a very large ego of himself. And you're trying to find as many faults in the game as possible to bring that ego down to size, though there may be some interesting twists and turns in the story along the way. I've played this game for about an hour or so. It has multiple endings depending on how well you play the game. So let's first do this is going to be a Cornish first look, so let's dive in and have a look. First, we're going to check out the settings. Settings are rather basic, to be honest. This is all, by the way, you play this game via keyboard. There is no mouse control. It is something I dislike. I prefer to have mouse control for this kind of thing. But the basic keyboard controls, you have movement, you've got your bug list, which is basically your sort of checklist of things that you're trying to find fault in the games. Each level has each level is broken up into chapters. Each chapters will have so many glitches, errors, and bugs that you have to try and unlock. The more bugs and glitches and errors you find, the better your ending at the game is. I've turned music off for a moment because I will say the music is pretty loud in this game, and once I start playing it, you'll see the point. But this is the basic menu. We'll turn the music back on. We'll go back to the main menu, and we're going to dive into a new game. One thing I also will say, there's only ever one save file for this game. So let us dive right in. New game, yeah. We set all the progress, enter all your bug lists, all this kind of thing. That's fine. The thing is that once you find a bug in the game, even if you go back to it, it doesn't register on the bug list anymore. So it's one of those things that if I want to show off bugs being found, I do have to basically restart the game. So let's go with this. First chapter, the scroll. And this is the game playing out. And the thing is, I've played through this. I'm not going to spoil it for the players, we're just going to skip it. And we're going to get you further into the story. The thing is that this game can take a little bit of time if you're just following the game step by step. So let's just go through.
Did you just skip the intro?
And welcome to the developer, ladies and gentlemen.
It took me 6 months to make it! With all the epic images, sound, sprites, and whatnot. Are you for real? You're like the worst player ever!
As you can see, there's already glitches happening in the game already.
I don't... Listen. Now you get back up there and watch the damn thing all the way to the end. You heard me. All the way down to the title. I know I put that big flashing press action button to skip thing at the bottom of the screen. It's called common courtesy, etiquette, something apparently not everyone is taught. Whatever, just ignore it. I'll put you right back at the start so we can watch the scene together, alright?
And as you can see here, this is our bug list that he gives us before you go into the main menu. He gives us right at the start of the game. And as you can see here, if we go here, and go enter, this is in the first chapter that we basically have missed a number of bugs. Number of bugs I need to find so that this part is broken. As you can see, we're in the second part, which is here. You can go back at later times to find more scrolls, to find more errors to continue things. For the time being, let's just keep continuing so we can find some faults in the game. And here you go, it plays out again. Trying to remember the controls. Buckless menu, okay.
You're doing it on purpose, aren't you? You're consciously pressing that button just to spite me at this point. Know what? It's getting personal. I won't let you get out of this intro scroll until you've read it all. I'll just reload it and reload it again until we can read it together, paragraph after paragraph. Hey, it's going down. I knew it. Of course you had to break it. Maybe with some directional input. Try pressing up. Right as I feared. We'll have to force it up manually.
Hold on 1 second, folks. Right. Force it manually.
Don't worry. I do this all the time. It'll be over in a jiffy. Just follow the instructions I'll display on screen. Let's start with something simple. Keep pressing the up button. Okay, it's moving. The buttons you're pressing are all control functions. Don't mind them. Damn. It started another background operation. Try pressing this combination of buttons to stop it. Okay, don't press any other button, please. I've just enabled all other control functions. Damn, it's not enough. Try this good old combination.
Okie dokie. But it says T up Y. Let's try. Functions out of control. There's lots of, throughout the game you'll find multiple bugs hidden. This is one of those like puzzle games where you're trying to find as many things as possible hidden away. Okay, so let's try.
It's working, but... Look, the background operations are getting a bit difficult to manage. Would you mind helping me out with some simple scripts? Don't worry, just press the respective buttons when they reach their indicator at the top of the screen, and I'll do the rest.
Here we go. There's lots of mini games put into this game. So just trying to get through all of them is fun. I do like this game has lots of little quirky things hidden away.
Yes! We did it! Woohoo! We are the champions! We are the champions! No time for losers, cuz. As I was saying, see? All you need for results is a bit of jolly cooperation. Maybe it's best if you go to the name selection screen now.
But yes, as you go through the game, you will find various glitches and stuff hidden throughout the levels. The more glitches that you find, the better the ending at the end of the game is. So, we can put names in if we want to. So let's put in, this is a default name.
What? Really? Is this really how you want to be called? Oh, mighty! That lame name you just invented. Lame name that nobody likes. Save the realm! Can you imagine that? I certainly can't. But don't worry. Thankfully, I had already prepared a great name for you. You're welcome.
As you can see, the dev is going to be your antagonist, or your opponent for antagonist for the rest of the game. So this game has lots of hidden, references. It's just, I do like this game. It's one of those games where the more you play, the more you sort of see what's going on in the world. You can go to interesting places and just trying to find bugs and glitches.
Wait, Goblin is an awfully standard fantasy name for our first monster encounter. We need monster names to be flashy and hip to differentiate from the rest. All the important devs out there are going for that vibe nowadays. Bob, not good. Foboblin, yes, rolls right out of your tongue. That's the one. There, changed it. Don't mind me now. Get back to your fight.
A Foboblin has appeared. As you can see, that gets added to our world map. When we find an error in the game, leveling errors. As you can see, we can go all the way down here. In truest sense of the word, this game stats don't just rise, sometimes they go down too. So you're trying to find all the little glitches and issues that the game has. It has a charming, I do like this game, it has a very charming personality. TerrorBane has appeared. Mirror Edge, wait, fighting ourselves. Strong Goblin, attack! And it's game over, folks. But this is the fun of the game. You're trying to find all the little hidden things tucked away, all the glitches, all the bugs. All little puzzles and pieces. Half the fun of the game is literally just trying to find all the things that have gone wrong with the developer, which is the whole purpose. For example, we can go down here. We have our items, which are fantastic. We have our abilities for our character, which are very nice. We have our stats, which are very nice. And then the game breaks. You go to the programmer's screen, and we unlock another bug. So it's just hunting for the little bugs and glitches hidden throughout the game, and the more we find, the more things affect the game, and we get a better ending at the end. Welcome. He seems to be glitching out. The other guard says, "This keeps going on. Just more glitches and errors." I love the fact also that the people in the game know that they're in a game. They know that they're in the game, and they know that their stuff is not done well. For example, we can go along here and go. Let's see. Let's you can just click on interact with most things to find bugs. Villager Maggie joined your party. Unforeseen recruit. So if we go to our inventory, she is now a member of our team, which is hilarious. She even has her own abilities. Offer cookie, dance, nap. I like this. I like this game. You can see the glitches. You can interact with them. Pear Crate joins the party. Nana was recruited. So like for example, we start the game and we're like in debt. Like we're nearly 5,000 gold in debt. Let's see what the abilities that the Pear Crate has. Ripen, Absorb Light, Take Off, Solar Ray, Protect. Don't know how a crate of pears does that. Sporting moustache is the greatest pride in Whiskerberry. So much so, even some women sport a pair. You found a door. Hey, are you serious? Give me back my door. Really, heroes these days. There's no shame. I love the fact just how the characters react to you. Just all the little things, like a barrel.
Hey, what's this little barrel doing here in the middle of the road? I must have left it there by mistake while placing objects on the map. Here, let me fix that. There, now he's a little guy. Definitely better.
Identity crisis. Hi, I'm George. Nice to meet you. I want my sprite back. If I'm not a barrel, it just doesn't feel right. I love it how the game characters are fully aware, and it's just like whenever he does stuff to them, it just messes with their minds. Did you hear? There's been sightings of legendary creatures prowling the mountains to the south. Well, it's like, look, like she's like literally got like a wire on for a wire to basically hold a fake mustache in place. Time flies. But yeah, this is the whole sort of fun of TerrorBane. You basically are looking for as many errors as you can find, and we can't get back outside in the world. Oh, that's a shame. You're trying to look for as many errors as you can find out in the world. The more errors you find per level, the better ending your game has. I won't spoil all the errors because that's where most of the fun from the game comes, is looking for basically all these little hidden errors and your interaction and play-off that you have with the developer. You have this very antagonistic relationship with the developer, and it's just seeing his interactions between yourself, the game, and the developer. For example, there should be, if I can find, here we go. Living in Whisperberry can make for unstable experience true, but after you get used to it, the variety in the environment can become rather refreshing. Like his house is just sifting between different map tile sets. But this is the core thing of the game. It's just like it's a quirky sort of fun, comedic, satirical RPG where it's sort of like looking at all the effort and energy that goes into making an RPG and all the things that can go wrong and all the fun little quirks that like the game can have effect, like that affects the game. For example, like walking on water. What? I'm walking on water, so that's why my shoes keep getting soaked. And as you can see here, they all add up. It all like gets stacked into the list of things that you find. And there's a good amount of chapters to go through in this game, my experience. So it's a fun game. As I say, I've played about an hour. I've covered like this bit of the area. I didn't realise you could go out into the world map, and I didn't realise that was a bit of the first game, the first chapter. So you can go back there and have a lot more fun exploring that. It's a nice game. It's if you want a funny little. Or if you want a fun, like satirical RPG where you basically are exploring and finding things, and it doesn't it doesn't overly take itself seriously. This is one of the things where I think good comedy games have to have, is that they don't take themselves too seriously. This reminds me a lot of like Monty Python, especially when the more wacky and zany things start going wrong. It's just fun. Like, I won't. Let's see if I can get the first crystal, because this is basically, we're following the current main story quest. I don't want to spoil it too much, but let's follow the main story quest for a little bit, and like, he's going to basically not allow us in without the crystals. I'm not going to spoil the main narrative, so I'm not going to. This is why I'm speeding through the dialogue. Okay, so let's go to the main menu and find something that we can show off. Let's go with that. Right here. So we need to find elemental stones to be allowed into the prison, or allowed into the castle, I should say. So we need to find elemental stones. And they are found throughout, all over the place. So we had to find like 3 or 4. And let's try here. So I know one is definitely here. And characters that you meet along the way. I'm just going to speed through. The thing is that it's one of these games, the more that I show you, the more the surprise goes out of the gameplay. So I'm really reluctant to basically spoil the main dialogue or narrative. But there's so many little things, as you can just see. If we look at the first, we're here in Whiskerberry, and there's like 30 errors that we need to find, and that doesn't even take into account the first chapter where there was like 5 in the first scroll, 7 in the second one, 8 in the other one. It's one of these things where there's just so much hidden away in this game to be found. And if you like that kind of thing, I really suggest it. One of the things I will say I do like about it is that even if it's game over, your progression continues. So as long as you keep the current save file, you do not lose access to your progression. So if it's game over, you basically just press continue and you basically go back to where the last save was, which is really nice. Overall, I like it. I think if you want to... Yeah, here's another error right here.
Hey! No, wait. Sorry. You know, it's the first time you fix a bug, rather than causing a ruckus. What is this strange thing I'm feeling now? Some kind of not rage?
Upside down. But yes, like... there's another one. But yes, as I was saying, like, this game is fun. It allows for a lot of experimentation, a lot of quirky sort of like your character taking risks, and if it fails, it fails. And if you die, you sort of reload and try again, try to do something else. All little quirky things. This game has a lot of character. It is a very... The comedy in the game is one of those things that, like, if you like satirical comedy, it's very funny. Especially with all like the playoff that you have between yourself and the developer and how the story progresses. Like I said, I've only played like an hour and a half into the main storyline, and because there is a lot of reading. One thing I will say, that if you want to play this game and you're not a fan of reading, this maybe not be the game for you, because there's a lot of reading. Especially at the beginning, when, especially if you want to find all the bugs, you have to sit through the intro several times. But it is a fun game, and just trying to hunt down all the quirks, all the little glitches, all the little things that have gone wrong in the game to use against the developer is fun. So if that's the kind of game that you want to play, a game that doesn't take it too seriously, and like sort of a spin-off of an RPG with like comedic and satirical elements. If you're a fan of, say, like Monty Python or anything like that, this kind of game, like, will probably scratch that itch. It wears its humour on its sleeves, and it's not afraid to poke fun at the game industry at the same time, especially both the negative and positive elements of it. And I think this is like well worth checking out. It's one of those games where you are rewarded the more time you put in. and the more energy you sort of like scratch your head and look around trying to find things. And your decisions have impacts. For example, with the shopkeeper here, if we go and talk to the shopkeeper, we can find in his shop, because we're broke, by the way, we find the most powerful weapon in the game and the main plot item.
Hey, I saw that. That is an important story item. You can't just waltz in and buy it. Play the game the way you're meant to, and you'll get there eventually. This one, however, goes back to the database.
And now let's try and leave. And he's basically gonna have a go at us because we owe money. Let's try and apologise. Okay. Let's try and explain. Yes, it's all an unfortunate misunderstanding. Burst into tears while blaming society in Dissolution Customs. Hey, come on, don't be like that. You can pay me in installments if you like. And then we're just going to punch him in the face. Armed robbery! Ah, damn scoundrel, I knew it! Don't show your face around here ever again, you crook. And now we're not allowed back in, so we can't go back to the shop. But yes, this is TerrorBane. I do like it quite a lot. It's not for everyone, I am going to say. If you're a fan of just getting straight into the gameplay and not reading through the text and everything, it's one of those games that probably won't do it for you, because you do have to basically read through a lot of text, especially if you want to find all the bugs. But this has been TerrorBane. I have been Cornish-knight. I do recommend this game. It is a fun little game to play. Not normally something that I would pick up, but definitely something I recommend for people that enjoy sort of comedic, satirical, poking and fun at computer games. And I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye, folks.